Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. We're talking about Season 7, Episode 19. Quest. What is your quest? What is your favorite color? Blue. No, wait. Yes. Like this. So we are getting close to a momentous occasion for me. This aired May 8th, 2008. Which was around the time I moved here to this here apartment. Yes, I moved here. And it turns out, I thought this was the first episode I watched. No, it is the next episode. So the first episode of Smallville I watched, new episode of Smallville I watched in this apartment was the season 7 finale, which means that I had to wait 3 months or so, 4 months for the next episode to show up, which was May 15th is when that one is. And when does the next season start? September. About 3 months. About 3 months. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, but we're talking about the penultimate episode of season 7 entitled Quest. And this actually, furthers some of the lore and calls back to some stuff from season 2. I realized while watching this, so who I don't miss? Lana. I really don't. It didn't really seem they ran out of stuff for her to do. They're like, well, we don't have anything for her to do the rest of the season, so she's in a coma. She's gone. She's in a coma right now, and there's nothing for her to do. So, yeah. Can't say I've been missing the ending scenes with her and Clark. But, yeah. So, well, Lex is. So I was not far off by saying that the gears and the thing that cryptograph that he has is looks like a clock, because that has the connection. I forgot about that. While he's looking over it, the bank teller guy, the mysterious man, attacks him, carves Kryptonian symbols into his chest. It just reveals all three here, but the first two that I see are Traveler and Savior. Yes, Lex is taken to the hospital. He has given this clock to this guy, Milos, who is a very important person. The actor was in the second episode. Wendigo, same episode that the actress who played Patricia was in. No one told me it wasn't no bear. Yeah, him. He's playing Milos here. And he's, after this, he takes it too, and he's like, I need your ticket, I need your ticket apart. And he's like, no, this is priceless. And I'm like, I forgot where this was headed. Once you get to where this, I'm like, okay, this is a wild goose chase, but it panned out. But it's one of those things where it's like, you do all this stuff, and guess what? It was right here the whole time. And I almost face palms for my head again. We'll get to it. So, they examine the marks on the chest, because Yimmy took a picture. So they look at the marks, and they find the symbols for Traveler and Savior, but also Clark connects another one that says Sanctuary, because apparently there's no Kryptonian word for church, so Sanctuary is that, and then a Traveler, Savior is another name for Saint, Traveler. So patron saint of Saviors of Travelers, is Saint Christopher, which they find as a cathedral in Quebec, Canada. How could they ever afford to go to Canada? So, yeah. So he flies to Canada, where he meets the only emissary left of this group, the Veritas. Robert Picardo playing Edward Teague. I told you it wasn't over with him. Apparently, he went into hiding after the death of his wife and his son. So they just assumed he was dead, I guess. He's been hiding in this place the whole time. And after Clark refuses to end Lex, he decided, okay, I'm going to ritually sacrifice you here with this weird thing, which is also on the Kawachi Cave walls. Those come back because Yimmy just, I understand he wasn't around, but he's researching. Hey, there's these caves in Smallville have all these symbols on it, including one that shows a ritual sacrifice, and so then Chloe realizes, oh no, that's Clark. By the way, I want to point out here, even though the last episode cliffhangered with Kara collapsing after hearing a noise, she's not in this episode at all. I know, apparently that pans out in the next episode, but where was she this whole time? We see her grabbing her head and went, ah! And then just, there's no mention of her once in this. Where she is, what's going on. Nothing. So, after Lex gets on his plane, they fly. They learn. So, Clark learns of this. He doesn't know what he's looking for, but Lex said that there's this clock that was donated to a church in Quebec, Canada. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Quebec, I don't know. Where, by Virgil Swan, this big ass clock thing. And, yeah. So he has to go there. And, so he goes there. Milo's just like, why are you holding me hostage? You could let me go. I am no help for you anymore. And, yeah. Chloe makes it there too, thanks to help from Oliver Queen's jet. The Queen jet, if you will. But Lex gets there, and Edward is there. He's like, Mr. Teague? Let's call him Mr. And that's where he explains, after my death of my wife, his son. I think he explains it to Clark, though. He's like, yes. And so they start to fight each other. And then he is the great adversary that the Traveler is supposed to have. Lex does find, he does find I guess before he meets him, he does find, because Wikipedia's always off, he does find the clock, and he's able to put the thing in there, the gears, plays a song, which I was like, why did you just stand there listening to this song? Apparently this song is important. It is important. So, it then opens this little thing with 4 dots on it that we've seen the symbol before, and that's the symbol. So he takes it, but then Teague shows up. They have a fight. Chloe shows up and saves Clark from being sacrificed to meteor juice or whatever. And yeah, then Clark bursts through and knocks whatever weapon that the Teague had, or one of them had, bursts through the clock, destroying the clock. And Lex like, what happened? He's like, what did you do? I didn't do anything. Robert Picardo was good in this episode, by the way. He's known for playing bad guys. Richard Woolsey in Stargate SG-1, and of course, I can't think of the name. It's not Quark. That's a different character. Is it Q? The Doctor. Just the Doctor. He doesn't have a name. Doesn't see medical hologram. He's just the Doctor. He doesn't have a name. Just the Doctor. I guess. But, yeah. He said, I didn't do anything. He's like, the Traveler. He must have. He didn't see who it was, or nothing, or didn't notice the Chloe is there. But, yeah. After hearing the song, he's convinced they have to fly to Scotland. Yes, because the song is a Scottish folk song. His dad made him practice, but then the dad from My Babysitter the Vampire is like, he gets this book and he's like, you'll find just trees there, basically birches, because the town used to surround an old castle, but the castle was bought by a wealthy philanthropist. It is the Luther Mansion. So Luther's like, he just got to go home. And this is where you got to put on your suspenders of disbelief. Because he starts to figure out where he's going to go. He's like, where was it? On the south. On the west? No, the south. Okay, and he looks, so if I just look southwest, there to turn right. And he's like, get out! Everyone get out. And he finds a secret location in the fireplace, which has the symbol on it, and he never noticed it throughout all the years that it was there. He didn't see this and go, I know that. It was on my mantle. No, it's been there, and he just didn't notice it. Puts the thing in, it opens, and he discovers an orb. Yeah, that's the end of the episode. We have another thing where Chloe suggests to Clark that he should kill Lex, but of course he's not. Because there's a whole thing where Jimmy has given her this thing about Sagath. We go back to Sagath and Naman, and that it will end with one of them dying, and that he should kill Lex. And so you don't believe that stuff. It's been legend. But everything what they had said on that wall is true. The Kawachi Caves. We need that Kawachi guy to come back. And said, nah, I told you you're chosen, Naman. But she's still alive. The character's still alive. I don't know. But that's where the episode ends. So as a penultimate episode, I think it works. I do think, there was a lot going on in this. I kind of skimmed through. I do think we needed one scene of Kara, show that she's gay, or where she is, or what it is. I don't know. Or a line or something. Did I miss a line where Clark's like, Kara's busy doing stuff right now. I don't know if there's a line or not, but I just don't know. But what I do know is that this episode was fine. It was fine. As a penultimate episode, it works. Lead up to the finale. You're ready for the finale now. And what it's going to take to end this. And showing that Lex is and has been the villain of this story. Yeah. The orb gives him the location of the fortress. I forgot that part. So, yeah, that's where it locates. That's where you gotta go. So that's, yeah. That's where that goes. So, I'm gonna give this, I'll give it another 3. I think it's solid, but, kind of like the last one. Middle of the road. It's not totally filler. Because, that one had the end where they save Kara, they find out, that thing. But, here it's just, it just pushes things forward. So, it's a 3. I'll give it a 3.5, actually. It pushes the plot a little more towards the end, now that we're towards the end of the season. So, yeah, that works, I guess. So, what are your thoughts on this episode? In the comments, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.